Hello, folks. This is Joe from My Geek Scene. I'm here with Bryce Papenbrook at AlmaCon. First interview of 2017. I know I've been away for a bit, but welcome back, folks. Bryce, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great. Yeah, just had an autograph session, and it was awesome. Cool meeting all the people out here.
Yeah, Bryce and I met briefly at the Grand Rapids Comic-Con, and we had to put things off for a bit, but I kept bugging him and bugging him, especially kept talking to him about martial arts, too.
Yeah.
You know, put that little bait out there. Hopefully he'd grab on.
Yeah, thank you for doing that.
Well,
happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Now, usually the first question I ask voice actors is, what was your first exposure to anime? Not as an actor, but just as a regular person.
I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, so I was all about that. I would watch the show and then go to karate and try to go Super Saiyan. But that was really my jam. So I think DBZ was my first sort of exposure. I mean, it's either that or Pokemon. The timeline is blurry, but I played Pokemon on Game Boy. Red version, picked Charmander.
Generally, it seems amongst the majority of the voice actors I've talked to, it's usually Dragon Ball Z is the first one. I mean, that was a gateway one, but...
Yeah. I think just like during that period, everyone loved that show. And I think it's so cool that it's kind of coming back. So gotta love that.
All right. Well, I know that you came from, your father was certainly a voice actor. Did you have a particular show or character that he voice acted in that was your favorite?
Wow. He did a ton of work. Stuff that stands out, I would say Power Rangers. His character was hilarious. Well, he played a bunch of monsters. He had the exact opposite voice that I have now. So he was bigger and broad-chested and deep and loud. Like he would walk into a room and say one thing and everyone's attention would just go right to him. So, I mean, Rito Revolto is just a ridiculous, hilarious character. So that one stands out. But like I said, he was in all sorts of stuff. He would go to work and come back and not say anything about the projects that he was working on. So even up to this day, people come up to me at cons and they're like, "Oh, your dad was amazing in this show." I'm like, "He was in that? What?" It's kind of cool that he's left that legacy.
Okay. Well, we're going to segue a little bit away from the anime for a bit. Cause,
Sure.
The majority of my interviews, when I talk to anime voice actors, we barely talk about anime because I try to learn about the person behind the voice.
Yeah.
You have a background in martial arts. You have a background in Tung Sudo and kickboxing.
Yes.
What drew you to martial arts?
I was really little when I started. I was about 4.5 when my mom put me in Tung Sudo, and she just wanted me to learn how to protect myself. And there was something about the martial arts and the mentality behind it and the effort that went into it and the challenge of it that I was really drawn to. When I turned 10, I got my first degree black belt, and then I started competing in Muay Thai. And it was really a family event. Every month we would go to these things called smokers, which are like underground fights, and I would compete at 10.
Not Valley Tudo.
No, but really, you go and you get matched up. They weigh you, and you get matched up with someone who's about your age and has as much experience as you, and you go full gear, so you're protected, and you compete full contact. So I was competing from 10 all the way through about 14, 15. I started competing against adults and turned amateur and did a couple casino fights. And decided to slow down the competition to go to school, but have never left training or martial arts.
What is your philosophy on martial arts?
It's all about work ethic. And if something isn't working or something isn't perfected, you put the time in and the training in and the sweat in, and that will help you get to that point where you want it to be. So it's all about putting that sweat on the mat.
Well, actually, I had a friend of mine. He wanted me to ask you this. So, Josh from Grand Rapids, this one's for you.
Hey, Josh.
What were your daily training habits? like before you got into voice acting?
So when I was competing, the ideal time for training for me was when I was in school, because I was just a gym rat. So I would get up before school and run, get that out of the way, go to school, and then go right to the gym. I would take a martial arts class or a Muay Thai class, and then I would spar, hit the bag and spar almost every day. Because when you're that age, like you have like Wolverine regeneration
Yes.
powers, like you can't.
Tell me about it.
And then they leave. Like, you just don't have them anymore.
Tell me about it.
Yes. I
Yeah,
feel
whatever.
it.
Don't even hand me that, you know.
Oh, it's not like it used to be. I feel it now. Actually, just recently, I refocused myself and started training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
I have been training, but I'm really trying to step up that Jiu-Jitsu game. And I've been working out with Johnny Young Bosch.
Okay.
Like very early in the morning. So you get weird injuries in Jiu-Jitsu. So I was rolling with him, and I think I just stuck my arm out and pulled and like tore a muscle or strained a muscle in my chest. It's really weird. So I feel it. There's no Wolverine regeneration powers anymore. They're gone.
I've managed to tear my hip doing a tornado kick in Kung Fu class, but that's because I neglected to do a certain stretch for like weeks. I blame myself. I
Yeah.
have only myself to blame for that.
There's sometimes you can like protect yourself against this stuff, like warming up and stretching, but then
I did all my other stretches. It was just like wall splits.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really do wall splits, but I would just, sit down, try to split my legs and push myself in as much as I can towards the wall. And I used to do that, religiously.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was just like, I've been doing yoga. I don't need to do this now. And yeah, I paid the price for that.
Yeah.
You were a teacher, especially in kickboxing. What have you learned about yourself as a teacher? Oh yeah, I know. Deep questions.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. When you become a teacher, it forces you to dive deeper into your art and really look at details of things, because there's tiny details that can change a technique fully. And if things are just a little bit off, it doesn't work. So when you're trying to instruct that, you always get questions like, why are you doing this? And it forces you to look deeper into the art and really learn. I've heard this a lot of times. My instructors say black belt is just the beginning.
Yes, like when you're ready to learning.
Exactly. So, and I think that learning begins with teaching and sharing and passing the knowledge down, and going through those motions, you learn more about yourself.
I mean, it's especially like since I have a kung fu background and stuff. I've been doing it for some time now. I can look at forms, and I guess my metaphor for this is like learning the movements. I've picked up letters, and then forms. I'm starting to form words. So I can look at someone doing a form, and I'm like, okay, I know that move. I can know that move. I can mimic it. Mimicking it is fine and dandy, but it really isn't as effective as actually learning it and just taking the time to break it down mechanically and then just retool it over and over and over again, because you never stop learning.
Yeah, with forms, my philosophy was you can't only know it in your mind. Your body has to know it.
Yes.
So you repeat and do it so many times. I haven't gone through my forms, and this is terrible. I haven't gone through forms for years, but
Well, I guess I'm
think
not going to
my-
ask you to do a form for me. Not on
Don't,
camera, but just
don't.
like
But I think I could still find my way through them just because of the repetition.
Okay. Yeah, believe me, I just returned back to class after pretty much a year off. I just reached my 10th anniversary. I may not look like it, folks, but believe me, if I stretch for about half an hour, I can actually kick above my head. Like if I'm going to get in a fight, like, let me get a half-hour stretch session in.
Hold on one second.
Hold on, please. 30 minutes, okay? Just go tweet. All right, but actually I forgot where I'm going with that, so yeah. Well, that's an awkward segment. Do you feel there's a need still for traditional martial arts with the explosion of MMA and the popularity behind it?
Absolutely. I don't think MMA is for everyone. I love MMA, and I think it's an art, and it's really a chess game, and you learn these attacks and all these different aspects of it, and it's a beautiful art also. But it's very easy to get injured, and it's rough, and you have to be conditioned to really move up and do anything high level in MMA. So traditional martial arts is a great thing to learn, the mentality behind it, and apply that to your real life. There's so many benefits of any art out there. So it's all good.
I mean, I guess as long as you have a good mentality going into it, instead
Exactly.
of being a meathead wanting to hurt somebody.
Yeah, that shouldn't be the goal. And I
Sadly,
think,
it is sometimes to some folks.
I think the guys who go into MMA who have the martial arts training background do better and move forward faster. I mean, you see that with a lot of the high-level guys. They have the martial arts background.
Well, speaking of MMA, should I say, do you have any favorite fighters of all time?
Oh man.
Oh yes.
There's a lot. Gosh, how can I narrow it down to one? I really love Mighty Mouse.
Oh, Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that guy is just so well-rounded, and he just stands out above, all the competition, and he just continues to surprise me every single fight. He's exciting to watch. So, and just so skilled on his feet and on the ground. Yeah, he's extremely impressive. And he just doesn't get tired. He just never slows down.
Okay, do you have any favorite martial arts films of all time? Because yes, I'm going to stick with this martial arts subject.
Yeah, no, I love it. All the Jackie Chan movies.
Okay.
Those are so fun, like the old school ones. Actually, my dad worked on some of those Jackie Chan movies. He dubbed them into English.
Oh, okay. I was like, is he
And
like a background actor or something?
No, he did on-screen stuff too, but he wasn't a stunt guy.
Okay.
But he dubbed some of those, the ones that weren't in English, into English. He was a couple of the bad guys, which is kind of fun. But all the old school Jackie Chan movies.
Have you seen The Raid Redemption?
No.
Oh, it's I want to say a Taiwanese martial arts film, and it's pretty awesome. They've The Raid Redemption, and then there's The Raid Barenthal. I have not seen Barenthal, although I own it, but The Raid Redemption, it's basically like this, there's this hotel or this building that's run by like the mafia. It's completely corrupt, like all the floors. I mean, they actually have some tenants living there, like regular people. I don't know why you want to stay in a building like that.
Yeah.
And so the SWAT team's going in there to take down the drug lord and stuff like that. So he's like fighting level by level.
Oh, what's the guy's...
Iko Iwas, IKKO or IKO. But yes.
I think I've seen clips from that where it's like the side of the building is kind of open and he's like just running and the fight scene goes like for a really long time. It's like one solid shot. Is that
No.
movie?
You're thinking of The Protector with Tony Jaa.
That's
when they was going up the stairs, and that was one shot.
Oh man, that was crazy.
That was I haven't seen Ong Bak, but I saw The Protector, and man, that was an awesome film.
Yeah.
Have you? I don't know if you've delved into live acting, but have you ever thought about being a martial arts henchman in a film? Dude, because I can totally see that. I'm not trying to typecast you, but I can totally see that.
It would be fun. I don't know if I come off as a henchman. I mean,
You don't have to speak.
it'd be like these giant guys and they move to the side, and I'm like the little guy who comes through. That's like, why would we be afraid of this guy?
Or you could be one of the guys that, like, as the main martial artist is beating up everybody, you're waiting your turn, because it always seems like they're going one at a time, one after another, instead of
Yeah.
like all at once. All right, well, we're going to get out of the martial arts talk. Favorite video games of all time?
The classic Final Fantasies. So like Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 3, technically 6. Yeah. And Final Fantasy 7.
Okay. I know you're, from what I understand, you're Zidane in
I
one of
am.
is it Dissidia games?
Yes, actually both the Cydia games.
Okay. Yeah, those were for handheld systems, so I never played that. So I can't be like, yeah, I loved you in that game. It was so good. No, I'm not gonna be a poser about
He
that.
didn't talk in Final Fantasy 9, so I was the first English voice actor to voice him, so it's pretty cool. When I was working on that game, they were using a code name, so I had no idea it was Final Fantasy, and that was my first time working for Square Enix. And I saw the character, and I'm like, it looks so familiar, but I had never played Final Fantasy 9. So, which actually someone gave me at a con, and it's sitting on my PlayStation ready to be played.
So you have a PS1 or a PS2?
I have a PS2, yeah.
So you can
But
play that on your PS2.
Totally. So it's sitting there ready to be played, and I've been saying this for a long time. I'll play it when I have some time, and there's just not enough hours in the day.
Believe me, dude, I know all about that. 9 is pretty good. I enjoyed that. Wasn't a huge fan of the limit break system compared to Final Fantasy VII, because when you built up a limit break, you could actually save it for the next battle.
Yeah.
This one, like once you fill it, it automatically goes right into it. So I'm like, that's not really good for boss battles. Solid game though, solid story. So I won't knock it, And the Flamenco de Chocobo song is pretty cool too. I would highly recommend checking that out. Awesome. All right, I found out a little tidbit about you. Yes. What is your, forgive me if I'm butchering her name, favorite Lisa song? Love is Same All.
Oh, and I don't know. So I don't know them by name. I just know them by like for the opening of Sword Art Online, the first opening is, I believe, a Lisa song. Do you know the name of that one?
No, I have not watched Sword Art Online. Forgive me, folks. Like, oh, you haven't watched it. There's so many anime series out there, it's impossible. I recently saw you in 7 Deadly Sins on Netflix. I didn't even know you were in that. My friend of mine was like, dude, you should check this out. And it was like Christmas, and I was like feeling sick. So I was like, all right, let's just turn this on. All right, this isn't bad. And I was like, that dude sounds vaguely familiar. So like 3 episodes in, I was like, oh, that's Bryce. All right, cool.
I actually played 2 characters in that show.
Yes, and you were Love Helm.
That's me.
I recall. Another reason why I know that because I went to your panel about that. So that was pretty cool. You're in a new, and it was recently funded, from what I understand, a show called CONFessionals.
I am.
You play Reese Babenflock. Could you talk about that?
Yeah. So Shermy Lee and her husband came up with the concept. Shermy has a ton of really interesting stories from cons. And we were talking to John, her husband, about some of the things that had happened. And he was just like, wow, this is so good. There should be a series about this. And we both looked at him and were like, do it. So he finally did. He wrote a script, and we set up a Kickstarter, and apparently people wanted to see it as well. So we got funded, and I am actually wrapped. We shot a couple weeks ago out at SAC Anime in Sacramento.
Okay.
And that was a really interesting experience because I was at the con all day as Bryce Papenbrook, and then I went and changed my clothes and put a hat on and transformed into Reese Babenflock.
So what is Reese like? I mean, he means well, but it's slightly idiotic?
Yeah.
Or he doesn't pick up on social cues?
I like to think that I'm a little more intelligent than Reese. I think what John did was he took his sort of idea of us as actors and then either flipped it upside down or really made it larger than life. So Reese is me if I was happier than I usually am, which is really happy already. So he's just happy-go-lucky kind of punching block in the first 5 episodes of the webisode, or the first 5 webisodes. Shermy, on the other hand, is the exact opposite of herself. Like, if you meet Shermy, she's like the nicest, sweetest person in the world.
I don't do Walla. Yeah, I watched that. I won't repeat what she said, but
Wiley Starr is a terrible person. Don't tell her I said that, because she'll hit me.
When is this coming out?
I can't tell you because I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
But
well,
it's not a secret. I don't think anyone knows yet.
Okay.
What I do know, I believe today they're shooting for the final day, and they're shooting in Dallas. So there's 2 teams that were brought together, an LA group and a Dallas group. And then everyone met up in Sacramento to shoot at the con. So it's been really fun. It's a great experience being in front of the camera instead of just in front of the mic.
Okay. Well, as we're wrapping this up, the final 3 questions.
Sure.
What series are you allowed to talk about that you'd like to promote?
Ooh. Wow, what can I talk about? All
right, well, let's put it this way. I will say this, because I know that they've already announced it, not through Funimation and whatnot, but I am looking forward to Season 2 of Attack on Titan.
Yes.
And Season 2 of The 7 Deadly Sins.
So we know that they're coming. Fingers crossed that I get to be a part of them.
Okay, wait. I would find it real hard to believe that they'd be like, you know what, we're going to cast a different voice actor for the two main roles of both shows. You're integrated into that.
I'm not pessimistic. I'm realistic, and it happens. It's a crazy, crazy industry, and you never know. I mean, sometimes it's just a train moving forward, and you miss your ticket.
Fair enough.
You're not on that train. Something happens, and you're too busy, and they just have to make it. So people have been replaced before. I mean, it happens. I'll do everything in my power to still be a part of all those titles.
I just hope it's not something, if that does happen, I'm not hoping that's the case. I hope it's just nothing quite discernible, like someone like, yo, I'm Aaron Yeager, I'm going to kill all them Titans. that would throw me off. Like, all right, I'm loving the Barry White version of this. Let's continue with that.
I mean, it'd be funny, but I don't think that would happen.
If fans wanted to reach out to you online, where could they find you?
So Instagram and Twitter at Bryce Papenbrook, and on Facebook, actor Bryce Papenbrook. Oh, and I want to give a shout out to the Einkrad Cadet Corps. You guys are awesome.
Nice.
Check them out on Facebook.
And final question to you. What would you like to say to your fans throughout the years?
Thank you so much for all the support. I love what I do, and it's so awesome that you guys love it too. So I'm going to keep it up. Hopefully there'll be lots more coming soon.
All right. Well, Bryce, thank you for the interview. Folks, this is Joe from My Geek Scene. I'm here with Bryce Papenbrook once again at AlmaCon 2017. Take it easy.
Later.